This is Dr. Steve Huron coming to from the New Human University, and I'm here to talk about our most recent blog post about surviving the 2020s. So, what's the secret to building a thriving life and a thriving business in this time? Bill Taylor, who's the co-founder of Fast Company and the editor of the Harvard Business Review, and he gave a talk earlier this year to media leaders. It was January of 2020. And his suggestion to everyone was that what you're going to need is strategy and mindfulness. And he believes that there is still a thrill to be had in breakthrough creativity and breakaway performances if you can find it. But you're going to need strategy and mindfulness. Now that is way, way easier said than done. What gets stuck in my craw sometimes is that people will just tell you that you need to be strategic, or they tell you that you need to be mindful. But that is way easier said than done. And what we know is that the lower brain will get in the way of you developing strategies that are coming from higher places. It gets in the way of you being mindful. The lower brain is dominant and will always put you in a position of thinking towards survival rather than thriving. And it's not much better when they just tell you, well, your brain has a reptilian mammalian center. That is informational, but generally useless without the tools to be able to solve the problems that come about because your brain goes into flight or fight mode. Understanding that you have a flight or flight mechanism is the booby prize of understanding in innovation and performance. And what about mindfulness? Well, there's this new book out, relatively new book out by Professor Ronald Purser at the San Francisco State University. He just recently wrote a book called McMindfulness: How Mindfulness Became the New Capitalist Spirituality. It's a really scathing review on how mindfulness is being used right now within businesses. He says that it's become a banal form of capitalist spirituality that ironically, mindlessly avoids social and political transformation and just goes about reinforcing the status quo. And so having a strategy that's basically a survival strategy, and having mindfulness that's basically helping you to spiritually bypass what needs to change inside of you, those things are not going to work. Ideally, Bill Taylor, I agree with you that we should have strategy and mindfulness, but we need higher brain strategy and real mindfulness that's coming from the part of the brain that is mindful. And so, what do we really need, I believe, is the form of mindfulness that is called insight and intuition, right? There's a part of our brain that can instinctually know what to do, but that's survival based, and that's lower brain. And insights and intuitions are different than instincts. Instincts are based on let's try not to die, whereas insights and intuitions are around higher level consciousness telling you how to take your life and or business into a thrive state. And so I believe that the key to survival in the 2020s is a higher brain and a higher mind. And that is what we are doing at the New Human University. We have the world's first brain first meditation that awakens the higher centers of the brain, the higher functions of the mind, and overcomes the flight or flight mechanisms. And we also have what we call a meta-modern mystery school, a 1-year training, a deep, intensive, transformational program. There's no spiritual bypassing there. This is not McMindfulness. This is mindfulness for the next level of new humans that are about to arrive on the scene. And so you can get access to a webinar that will tell you about our meta-modern mystery school. If you just look at the link below, I'll post it below. And go check out our blog, and would love to hear from you on what you think about how to survive the 2020s. What do you think about what Bill Taylor said about having what you need is strategy and mindfulness, and what you thought about what I said about the difference between survival instinct and thriving intuitions. Thanks for your time.